Good morning, my dear children. Welcome back to our English classroom. This is Shilpa ma'am with you with your fifth unit. In this unit, as usual, you want to study one story and one poem. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the story written by John Calsworth, Quality. Okay, so I'm going to read out the chapter one by one because I don't want to give the summary of the story because most probably in a literature classroom better to read and give the meaning one by one. That's why I plan to read the story and enjoy. Okay, so the central character of this story is Mr. Gessler. Okay, he is the showmaker and he used to live in London. Okay, so we can say that everybody has their own quality, their own skill in their life. They have. Okay, it is born skill. We can say that it is born skill. So, have you ever observed the web of the spider? Yes, it is an art. Teaching is an art. Cooking is an art. So all the skills are known as the art. Okay, so the man who is the central character of the story, Mr. Gessler, he is the example of the kindness, wisdom, and the quality. Okay, so I can tell you one more example. If we are going to purchase anything from outside, will you purchase or will you buy the quality one or not? Okay, nowadays I can say that in most of the advertised things it never extended for a long time, it never lasts for a long time. Am I right? So on the other hand, the quality one or the quality one will be last for a long time, or maybe it may last for years. Am I right? So this is also such a story I'm going to read. You may please enjoy with me. Okay. Unit 5. Can a shoemaker be called an artist? Obviously we can. The tailor, he is an artist because he can cut and stitch by his own idea. Okay, so yes, if he has the same skill and pride in his trade as many other artists and the same respect for it too, if you are doing any quality things, you will get the respect as a reward. Okay, so Mr. Gessler, a German shoemaker, he was a German shoemaker settled in London, is a perfect artist. What is he? Yes, he's a perfect artist. Then read the story to see how he devotes his life to his art. So in the story, we are going to discuss about the kindness and the quality of this shoemaker and what is the status of the shoemaker in the society. Okay, so quality. I knew him from the days of my extreme youth. Actually, in the story, the first person narrative, that is the author. Okay, so not to forget that. I knew him from the days of my extreme youth because he made my father's boot. The author, he knew him because his father's boot, it was made by the shoemaker. Okay, Mr. Gessler. Okay, he lived with his elder brother in his shop. He was staying with his elder brother. Okay, which was in a small by street in a fashionable part of London. Where he lived? Yes, he lived which was in a small by street. Do you know by street? It is a private area or a side street, or we can say that obscure obscure street. Okay, so he lived with his brother a small by street in a fashionable part of London. The shop had a certain quiet distinction. It has quite distinction difference from other shops. Okay, there was no sign up on it other than the name of the Gazler brothers. You can see in the picture there is the caption, or there is the attractive caption or the name for the bar of the shop, that is Gessler brother. No other things are shown in the shop. Okay, so and the windows, a few pairs of boots. What is hanging on the window? Yes, few pairs of boots. He made only what was ordered. He liked to make the shoes what others ordered only. Only ordered shoes can be made by the shoemaker. Okay, and what he made never failed to fit. Yes, if he made it, it would never fail to fit. Okay, to make boots, such a boots as he made, make a strong and quality one, seemed to be then and still seems to me mysterious and really wonderful. Chappals means it's really wonderful boots what he made for us. I remember well my shy remarks one day while stretching out to him my youthful foot. Isn't it awfully hard to do, Mr. Gessler? I still remember that. One day I asked him that. Isn't it awfully hard to do, Mr. Gessler? It's a very difficult job. And his answer, given with a sudden smile from out of the redness of his beard. He was giving the immediate answer of his question. Is an art. You can see here, that is it. IT is an art. ARDT. So these all are the terms that you can see in the story. It is an all English, old fashioned English. Okay, so what you want to do, you have to transform, or means try to understand what exactly it says. Okay, it is an art. What Gessler said, yes, it is an art, said with a German accent. He said with a German accent. It was not possible to go him very often. His boots last terribly. Actually, if you purchase the quality one, need not purchase anything the very next day, because it will last for a long time. So no need to purchase immediately. Okay, so what the author he said, it was not possible to go to him very often. His boots lasted terribly. So not to go him every time, because the boot, it will last for a long time. Okay, having something beyond the temporary, some essence of boot stitched into them even after a long time. Okay, so what happened again, the author, he visited Mr. Gessler shop. Okay, see, how do you do, Mr. Gessler? Could you make me a pair of Russian boots? Means Russian leather boots. Could you make a Russian leather boots for me? And without a word, nothing he could say, and he would leave me retiring once he came. So whence and told, we can normally use in an old English. Okay, so old fashioned word it is, and you have to treat as what, from where he came, there he returned. Okay, so what exactly it means, or into the other portion of the shop, and I would continue to rest the wooden chair, inhaling the incense of his trade. He was feeling the incense of his trade. Okay, so if you like getting the aura, will get the aura, the smell. Okay, so the quality of the smell, you just note out. So he would come back. Suddenly not. Soon after, what happened? He came back and holding in his hand a piece of gold brown leather with eyes fixed on it he would remark, "What a beautiful piece!" Yes, so what a beautiful piece. When I too had admired it, he would ask or he would speak again, "When do you want them?" And I would answer, "Oh, as soon as you conveniently can." And he would say, "Tomorrow fortnight, tomorrow or 2 weeks after." Okay, fortnight means fortnight. Okay, or if he were his elder brother, I will ask my brother. Okay, so if it is possible, let me ask my brother. Okay, then I would murmur, "Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Gessler. Good morning." He would reply, still looking at the leather in his hand. And as I moved to the door, I would hear the tip tap of his slippers going up the stairs to his dream of boots. Actually, the other he was observing the movement, the sound of the boots of Mr. Gessler because it has the dream until it comes true. Okay? The next, I cannot forget that day on which I had occasion to say to him, "Mr. Gessler, that last pair of boots creaked, you know." Mr. Gessler, do you remember? Or do you know? The boot which you made for me the last time, it seemed like creaking. Creaking means make a scraping or a squeaking sound. Okay, typically a wooden piece or wooden one. Okay, so he looked at me for a time without replying. He couldn't reply anything to me. He stared at me and as if expecting me to withdraw or qualify the statement, then said, "It shouldn't have creaked. It never creaked." "Yes, it did." "I'm afraid." "You got them wet before they found themselves." "I don't think so." "Actually, before you wear it may be damaged." "No, no, I don't think so." At that, he lowered his eyes as if hunting for the memory of those boots, and I felt sorry. I had mentioned this grave thing. Actually, this was or it was not the shoe or the boot made by Mr. Gessler, but actually the other he did not want to tell him that the boot which wasn't made by the Gessler. Okay, so that's why even if the boot it was made by Mr. Gessler, definitely this would not have any problem. So with 100% guarantee, what Mr. Gessler he replied him that it doesn't have any creaking sound. Okay, so the other he tried to hide the reality. He looked at me without replying anything, as if expecting me to withdraw or qualify the statement, then said, "No, no, it shouldn't have creaked. It never creaked." "Yes, it did." "I'm afraid because this was not the pair of the boat which made by Mr. Gessler. You got them wet before they found themselves." "I don't think so." "It may be worn out or it may be old before you found them." Okay, so at that he lowered his eyes as if hunting for a memory of those boots, and I felt sorry I had mentioned this grave thing. "Send them back," he said. "I will look at them. You do one thing, you have to take them back and let me check out." Okay, so some boots, he continued slowly, are bad from birth. What he said, yes, some boots are there From the birth itself, it doesn't have quality, so it will damage easily. So it never happened in my case, but let me check out once again. If there is any problem, okay, I'm ready to take off your bill, means I will give you the discount in your bill. Okay, so once only I went absent-mindedly into his shop in a pair of boots bought in an emergency at some large firm. He took my order without showing me any leather, and I could feel his eyes penetrating the inferior covering of my foot. What happened? Yes, the order, he has purchased the boot from the advertised shop. Okay, so they never ask the size of the feet or anything else. But on the other hand, Mr. Gessler, he asked the size of the feet, and it will be completely fit for the people. Okay, so once I went absent-mindedly into his shop in a pair of boots bought in an emergency at some large firm. Large firm means some any other advertising agencies. Okay, so he took my order without showing me any leather, and I could feel his eyes penetrating the inferior covering of my foot. So suddenly, Mr. Gessler, he was penetrating the inferior covering of my foot, means so able to make a way through. So he was trying to understand the problem of the boot and the shoe. Okay, so at last he said he was curious and he was frequently observing that boot. What is the wrong in it? He said, those are not my boots. Those are not my boots. This is the boots which is not made by me. The tone was not one of anger. He never shows the anger, nor for sorrow, not even of contempt. Contempt means beneath consideration. Okay, he never considered, but there was in it something quiet that froze the blood. He put his hand down and pressed a finger on the place where the left boot was not quite comfortable. Where the boot was not comfortable, he touched over there. From the touching itself, we could understand if the person who is knowing the quality, do you understand? If the person who knows the quality properly only can be understood easily, otherwise it's worst. Okay, then it hurts you there. Okay, it hurts you there. He said, those big firms have no self respect. They don't have, the big firms, they don't have any self respect. I can give you one example. Nowadays we have lots of online shopping agencies. Yes, they are the Flipkart, Amazon, then different kinds of shops. They are having the online procedures like for the kids we have First Cry, for kurtis, for sweets. So it has lots of online shopping procedures are there, online shopping agencies are there. So we can purchase through online. Am I right or not? Yes, but it doesn't have, or it doesn't give the quality of the item. Okay, so what the Gessler said, it hurts you though. He said those big firms have no self-respect. Actually, the big firms, what is their intention? To sell the products, not to see the quality, not to check the quality. Okay, so and then as if something had given way with him, he spoke long and bitterly. It was the only time I ever heard him discuss the condition and hardship of his trade. I never ever heard from Mr. Gessler that he explained about the hardship of his trade. So how much hard to make a product with quality. It was the first time I was listening the quality and the hardship of the products and behind the story of the shoemaker at first, from the tip of the tongue of Mr. Gessler. I hope you understand the story till then, and we'll continue the story for the next module. Take care, bye.